Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the no-cap recap of the March 15th, 2022, Season 9, Episode 18 of The Curse of Oak Island, called Playing the Dunfield. If you missed my recap of Episode 17, there's a link to it in the upper right. Let's get into it. There's an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 225 years. The team continues work in the C1 cluster, the second of four 10-foot wide locations for sinking steel shafts is EC1. It is 1 foot east of the C1 borehole and 8 foot northeast of TF1, which may have intersected the original money pit the previous week. They hope the EC1 shaft leads directly down to the chapel vault, discovered in 1897, with a drill bit that brought up gold shavings and a piece of parchment with the letters VI on it. The vault is approximately 153 feet down, and that's where the steel shaft is approaching. The first hammer grab that is shown brings up water and mud or clay or both. Metal detection expert Gary Drayton gets no hits from it. As a reminder, this is the same area that previous boreholes have brought up metal with gold content, and water tests have confirmed dump truck levels of silver and gold nearby. At the wash table, they are going through the spoils from the EC1 shaft, and Jack thinks this might be concrete. The next EC1 hammer grab brings up this wood, as the steel shaft being ground into the earth hits the anhydrite bedrock. After the next hammer grab brings up mostly water and a chunk of the bedrock, the team decides to call that shaft done and move on. Hitting bedrock at 150 feet is interesting though, because other shafts and boreholes in the area were able to go much deeper before hitting bedrock. That night in the war room, the team meets to decide the location of the third of four 10-foot wide shafts they will do this year. Narrator Robert Clotworthy recounts the water sample tests that revealed high amounts of gold and silver nearby, and that the highest sample was from borehole F4. Which coincidentally is the exact center of the 100-foot diameter of the hole dug by California geologist Robert Dunfield in 1965 in an attempt to find the chapel vault. At 140 feet down, the massive hole flooded and caved in, so he couldn't get that extra 13 feet to reach the level of the chapel vault. They decide to put the third shaft right on top of the F4 location and names the shaft DH82 for Dan Henske and what I'm assuming is his age of 82. The next day, the team from Rock Equipment and Irving Equipment Limited continue backfilling EC1 so that they can remove the shafts needed for the new location. Meanwhile, 200 feet away, Billy Gerhardt and Gary Drayton continue going through the spoils from that 1965 Dunfield dig. The spoils were never thoroughly searched until earlier this season in 2021 when they found timbers potentially from the original money pit and an iron spike that could be 2.5 centuries old. Rick Lagina arrives to help. Gary finds this piece of cut pipe. Rick finds this piece of leather. The next morning, the excavation of the DH82 shaft begins, going through the backfill of the Dunfield hole. That afternoon, Rick's nephews, Peter and David Fernetti, along with Charles Barkhouse, travel 50 miles northeast to Dawson's bookshop to have leather expert Joe Landry examine the piece of leather that Rick found one day earlier. He says it's oak tanned, a process that was invented in medieval times, and possibly from an officer's boot due to the shape. Joe also suggests further testing of it. A previous money pit area leather find was carbon dated as early as 1492. Back at the DH-82 shaft from backfill spoils from the 75-foot level, Gary finds this possible wooden fastener used to attach two pieces of wood together. The next hammer grab brings up as cut timbers and boulders. Next time on an all-new The Curse of Oak Island called Show Me the Money, a new person says there are anomalies all over the island, on the land, and on the water. Rick says they need to map the whole island, and a boat is shown doing what looks like sonar scanning. Jack Begley says there's a big target. Rick asks, is there a shipwreck off of the island? And in the DH-82 spoils area, Gary finds this metal and says that's old, and Rick says it's possibly the money pit. The synopsis from that episode 19 reads, while newly discovered targets off the shore of Oak Island lead the team to believe there was a possible shipwreck, in the money pit, the Fellowship is uncovering evidence that famed treasure hunter Robert Dunfield missed. I'll be back next week to recap that episode 19, and a link to that recap episode will be in the upper right of this video once I post it. My name is Steve Simpson, and also known as Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is also in the video description. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel, including Oak Island, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. You can add me on the gram. That's Instagram, and that would be Coach Steve Money, no spaces. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Thank you so much for your support. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.